What is up, Bella? How you doing?
Hi, how's everyone doing out there? It's almost Christmas.
Yes, welcome to Truth and Transparency, Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry for the 15-minute delay. Was uploading a couple things. Plus, it's Christmas time, and those lines are just crazy long.
They are. That's true.
I do have a little promo to get us into today's episode. So I am going to go ahead and fire up today's promo. Here we go.
Two surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning. On the morning
of Welcome to Truth and Transparency, Moscow, Idaho. 4 college students.
No sign of sexual assault.
Brutally murdered. Stabbed to death.
Investigators
in their off-campus
determined 2 areas of interest within the city and have provided maps which are on our
It is December 22nd, 2022.
And these are areas
where do we stand today?
They have
what do we know? What don't we know? What should we know?
Tips and have contacted several residents.
Is this case hot?
The areas are generally
or is it going cold?
Taylor Avenue to Palouse River Drive.
Tonight I want to hear from you guys.
West of Highway 95.
What questions would you ask?
Detectives have also
if you were able to interrogate people.
Other neighborhoods looking for evidence, looking for
again, welcome to the transparency.
Video, and contacting residents and speaking to them to see if they may have heard or seen something. I want to address several areas of speculation, conjecture, and misinformation that has circulated on social media platforms and otherwise. We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime. The 2 surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released, so any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject. Any online reports stating that the victims had been tied and gagged are not accurate.
Again, welcome to Truth and Transparency. The roommates, hoodie guy, party driver, 911 caller, all to be cleared, or quote unquote, we believe not to be involved. But notice how when they talked about that male subject that Kaylee and Maddie were calling that night, was not cleared by this officer like the rest. Now it's December 22nd, 2022. Where are we today? And how would you go about investigating this case? Tonight I'm going to split up some groups here, and we're going to see how you guys would handle asking questions as far as interrogating people, or rather just interviewing. But tonight it's for the viewers. Tonight it's for people, everybody wants to scrutinize police officers, detectives, you know, we don't know what was asked in any of those interrogations or interviews. But tonight, we're going to treat it like there were no interrogations yet, and you have the platform to, how would you ask this person questions? What would you want to know? What do you think is important? Things like that. So again, welcome Bella to the show here.
Hi.
What's up?
I hope everyone's doing really good. We're getting close to Christmas. So everyone, I hope you're where you want to be with your family. And if you're not, that that you're having a really good Christmas and you're here with us celebrating.
Yeah, I mean, it's only December 22nd, so hopefully, like, people are able to get where they need to go. The weather, though, is not going to be good for the Midwest people that are traveling like myself.
Right?
So, all right. So, kind of how I wanted to start off this episode with you, since you are already boom up here.
Boom.
I get to basically label you as somebody that I would want to interrogate or interview. Okay.
Fun. Oh my gosh.
And then don't worry, I'm going to give you the same chance. Okay.
Wait, I didn't know I was going to get that chance. Okay. Got it.
But I mean, unless you don't want that chance,
We'll see.
But, I think there's a lot of things going around. Obviously, that's very well. I mean, you have mainstream media talking about that. You have the Moscow Police Department basically going and doing little blurbs on their, police YouTube stuff, saying that, hey, this is our case. We're in charge. We got this type of thing. I don't know if that was just something that they need to do for themselves or for the community, but it is the facts are the facts. It's December 22nd, and these 4 homicides were on November 13th. So we're well past a month. So let's see if obviously the people that are going to be in that home as the surviving roommates, that's where I believe that law enforcement would have went first as far as talking to people. What do you think about that?
I think that is a very good place that law enforcement would have went after talking to people. I just want to know what you're going to interrogate me as, and who am I going to be?
Oh,
who's the witness?
Well, you're going to actually be you're going to be Dylan.
Wait, well, I'm going to be Dylan?
Yeah, I'm going to put that up here now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
So
no one come for me, no one at me.
Well, I'm going to get us rolling. So
Okay.
I can let the audiences, a lot of these people haven't really been on my channel when I've done like mock trials and things like that, but this would be like a mock interview / interrogation, depending on how you ever want to look at it. But I think the first thing would be is these roommates you would have to say would have been in shock. Talking to them, and at the beginning you're maybe like not able to interview them the way that you would want to because they're just, I mean, 20 to 22-year-olds witnessing what that home would have had. Do you think that the officers would have been understanding of that, and how pressing would they have been to been like, okay, no, we have to interview you? You know what I mean?
I think that if they were the ones to have found the bodies, that the officers would have had a lot of compassion, because as we heard when this story first broke, there was a lot going on. And we know that there was a lot of people in that house because they probably got scared and called a lot of their friends over. And there was a lot of people when that 911 call went out. So I think, and I would hope, and I'm sure that the law enforcement officers had a lot of compassion for that. Because I think even they were shocked at the scene that they saw, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's pretty obvious by just, I mean, even like the body cam that I've shown from the September 1st date, what those officers are used to and what they talk about that they're used to. noise complaints and underage drinking. You know what I mean? Like somebody
Mhm.
took somebody's bike. This is not your everyday, nor do I think it's anywhere that this is everyday, because the nation wouldn't be, glued to this. So I don't even think it's like, oh, Moscow, like, wow, this would never happen here and we're not used to this. Well, I don't think this is something that anybody or any city or any town should be used to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, it's horrific. And when it first started, I think a lot of us were thinking this is kind of like one of those tropes in a horror movie, right? You're four girls and a guy, or, three girls and a guy in a house. And then this brutal killing happens and everyone's just wiped out. How, it just doesn't seem in Idaho. I mean, it's not like you're talking about some big city, it's a college town. It's just scary. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, with, we're gonna hop right into it then. So I have my notebook out here and everything.
Oh my gosh, you're
Yeah,
ready to
like,
interrogate me.
yeah,
Mm.
and then I have 1,148 detectives that are on this case as well with me.
Oh
They're
my
all in
gosh,
they're all in chat. So
I'm nervous.
you should you
I
should be.
am.
You
I
should be.
am. Hmm. Okay. Wow. Give me some water. Can I get some water? Can I go to the bathroom?
All right, Dylan, thank you so much for talking to us.
No problem.
So we're just gonna kind of start from you are a resident of 1122.
I am.
Okay. And is that a place that you've been living for a long time? When did you move in there?
I moved in when the semester started. Basically August and the end of August.
Okay. Um, and when you said that you moved in there, was it you were asked to move in there? Were these people that you were friends with? How do you know the victims? And we can just start with how you know Ethan.
Well, I know Ethan through Xana. Me and Xana are close, and I've known Ethan through her. They're a really lovely couple.
Okay. And then Kaylee and Maddie, how did you know them?
I've known, I've known Maddie, she belongs to a sorority that I also belong to now. And, and I know Kaylee because they're really close. They're like sisters.
Okay. Um, and you said you got home around 1 o'clock, or is that what you told the officers?
1 a.m. Yeah.
Okay. And is that like normal for you to come home at 1 a.m.?
Well, it was a game night. So, no, sometimes it's later than that, but
So does your time that you come home vary?
it depends. Like if it's a school night and there's nothing going on, sure, I'll be home by like 9 or 10. But if it's a game night or if it's a weekend or we have a sorority function, then I could be home at like, anywhere from 12 to 3 a.m.
Okay. And, I I don't want you to worry about getting in trouble or anything like that, but did you have like a fake ID when, to use around town? Would you be able to go out with, for say 21-year-olds? Is that something that you would go out with them to the bars?
I don't know if I'm really comfortable answering that question.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, does it matter?
Okay. And now, did you have any communication with any of them?
With what do you mean by any of them?
Any of your roommates that night? Like,
Oh, that night. Yeah, I mean, Xana and I, we texted, and that's pretty normal for us.
mhm.
Um, And yeah, I have to check my phone. Would you like me
Okay.
to do
Yeah,
that?
actually, are you okay with us like looking at your phone? Like, can we like just, download it to see, your messages with them? See, did you take any pictures that day? Do you have any idea of anybody that would want to hurt any of your roommates?
No, not at all.
Seen any
No.
suspicious people around? Maybe if you were taking, selfies and things like that, or pictures throughout the day. Were you guys having people over? We noticed that there was a bunch of, beer and, um, I mean, it'd be normal to have people over your house, right?
Yeah, and I mean, there are people that live there who are over 21, so it's okay for them to drink, you know?
So basically, what we're trying to explain to the audience is do you think that Dylan and her roommate, Bethany, who were the two surviving roommates, for them to come out, and that's why the opening said, we do not believe that this person, this person, this person have anything to do with it. For you to have that, opinion right off the bat within days, okay? Um, and you to come out and tell basically the world that what type of what went on between 11:13 and 11:20 for that type of press conference to take place and for those blanket statements to be made about those people.
Right.
Like what type of questions do you think were asked and answered? And if you think that these people weren't being cooperative, how are you clearing anybody? Is the point of this? And so it's like, and in my opinion, it's the digital age. And so I think there would have come a point where you have to probably ask those questions of like, do you care if, we look at your phone? Can we get any photos that you have? Things like that.
Right.
Right.
Like, when was the last time you talked to them?
When was the last time you talked to them?
Did they tell you they were going to be home at a specific hour? Did they tell you they were like arguing or fighting with anyone? Did they tell you somebody was following them? How close were you with them? These are questions that would have come out, and we're just working through that.
Yeah. So, and we want to know from the audience, like, what would you want to know? What questions would you ask that you think are important, but not even like what you think would be important, but how are you going to clear? What would you need to ask in order to clear people in 2022 with the digital age? So it's, and I'm literally asking you guys, like, what would you ask? Like, let's think about it.
Hmm.
You want to put your like thinking caps on as everybody wants to talk bad about the police department and the detectives here. Well, first of all, you have a huge crime scene because you have four brutally stabbed young adults,
Right.
and
And a lot.
well, yeah, just that crime scene alone is going to take, so right then and there you have to start delegating. Okay, we have our crime scene experts, we have our forensic team. All right, who's going to be the people that are going around and, you know, knocking on the doors? How are we going to start? Obviously we have to talk to the parents. We have to talk to the university. So do you see how when you actually break it on down, it could take a long time because you
Yep.
have four people. It's not just one person. So I'm curious. Here we go. Lulu, great question. Did you come home with anyone that night? Were there people home when you got home? What was a
Great
typical
question.
what was a typical night like? But think about it. What type of questions would you need to ask these two surviving roommates to literally be able to think that they're not involved?
Right.
So,
And everyone who thinks that Dylan is guilty, we see a lot of that right now, right? You guys all think there's not guilty, but that she's suspicious or whatever. What makes you think she's suspicious? And what questions would you ask her that could absolve her in your view?
yeah. And I just think that, everybody wants to knock the police department right now. And I thought about it and I'm like, wait a second. Okay, well, what would you do differently? What do you think in order for them to clear Bethany and to clear Dylan, what type of questions would you have to ask in order to clear that? And I believe that, and I wrote some of those down, which is you'd get to the point of you'd want to get it out of your witnesses to ask stuff like getting them to want to cooperate and do anything. So did you take any pictures? You want to get people's phones in your hands. You have to think like
Right.
an investigator as much as you have to be compassionate for obviously the situation, but you need to get your hands on, how about this? Nobody has asked yet. Were the victims, were their cell phones there? Were the cell phones there? I'm curious. Does anybody know? Did anybody raise their hand and ask that question at any press conference? And the
Mm-mm.
answer is no, they didn't. They didn't ask any of that. Is it normal that you wake up at midnight or at noon? Did you hear anything that night? Where was your bedroom? Because after we go through it and we see that there was a bedroom here and a bedroom there, and okay, and there weren't two bedrooms, let's say downstairs, or maybe there were. And then it's things like, okay, can you remember anybody that was over the house? How often do you clean your house? When's the last time you cleaned your house? Did anybody sleep there with you? There you go. How would you describe your relationship to your roommates? Did you get along pretty well? Fight sometimes?
Lulu Loveberry is on it. What do you do, Lulu Loveberry, for your job? You're really good at asking questions, huh? Yeah, I mean, these are really important questions.
Yeah, like
And
where were you sleeping that night? How do you lock the doors at night? I
do
noticed that it was,
you?
yeah, do you, what's your normal routine? Do you guys unplug the lights, the last person home? How does that all work? I'm just like, I'm literally curious as to what you guys think in terms of how you would, and what questions do you think that you got two females here that are hysterical, probably, okay? And you have officers, okay, that in my opinion weren't like, oh my god, these two people are our suspects, you know what I mean? But I think that they need to understand, like, how this all happened. But how do you get to that point? How do you get the questions that you have answered?
Right. And how do you get them cleared so quickly?
Yeah, and I mean, think about it. That press conference happened on 11/20.
Mm.
Okay, the murders were on 11/13, but like by the time 911 was called, all that stuff. Why was 911 not called? Well, we were downstairs and we didn't wake up until this point. You know what I mean? There was no reason for us to go upstairs because we weren't awake yet. Okay, so then what happened? But you're gonna want to try to back up, I think. And where would you start as a detective? Where would you need to start? Because getting as much as you can out of them, I think, is very important to know who was normally at the house, who was normally over there, was anybody around like recently that who was new being around there. Um,
Absolutely. And I'm
okay, so
seeing great questions in chat.
people are like, we have more questions for her now versus then, and I think that's normal because as the story unfolds, but you need these people to like be cooperating with you.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can't. I don't think you can approach them as. I think that you'd want to approach them with kid gloves.
Yeah, especially after what they witnessed and being so young, knowing that a lot of people just can't. I mean, that's a horrific. Any one of us, I think, no one would be comfortable with that scene.
Do you have any sort of routine of securing the house at night, i.e., the last one in locks the door, stuff like that? Exactly.
Beautiful question, Shelley.
Um, uh, at that point, they probably would have asked about the dog, whose dog it is. You know what I mean? Like, because they didn't know. The police wouldn't know whose dog, it is. Um,
Where
did
did
you,
the dog normally sleep?
yeah,
Where
where
would
was,
he
yeah.
normally sleep? Yeah.
Um,
And I
how,
think
how do you know that you got home at 1 a.m.? That's what I want to know. How do you know that you got home at 1 a.m.? How do the police know that? Because that's what they told them, right? Well, how did they know what time they got home? What are they going off of? Any problems with anyone? Yes. Yes. I'm very curious. So, Spirit Seeker Squad, I'm very curious who put the stools in front of the patio door and why. Exactly. Did the police do that, or is that something that they did?
great
Do you
question.
know anyone that drives a white Elantra? Uh, that made me laugh. Sorry. Um, did you maybe, just because they didn't get upstairs until that point, did you wake up earlier at any point that morning? Well,
Right.
yeah, I was up earlier, but I just was staying in my bed. I had a hangover. You know what I mean? I was just watching The Real World on Netflix or something, whatever it may be. But like, think about it. Like at the time, these when you're asking people questions, you don't have all the questions that you're going to ask somebody because as the investigation continues, then more questions. So it's like, okay, hey, you know, we have to be able to talk to these people again. So how do you do that? And um and was it like a tactic for them to say like, yeah, we don't believe that the roommates had anything to do with this because we need them to continue to cooperate.
Right.
And I'm not saying that they do have anything to do with this, but when you want to say, anybody in that situation, we need them to cooperate. We need everybody to cooperate with the investigation. Okay. So I think that when people want to totally judge or, totally criticize, you also have to have compassion when you criticize. So, with that said, yeah, I think that you would show an outlet of or an outline of the house and like a blueprint, kind of like what we did the other day. And hey, which bedrooms were which bedrooms. At that point, you don't know if remember how it was reported that Ethan was living there, and then it had to come out again that no, he was just the boyfriend of one of the roommates. So I remember when it first came out that it was just 4 people that murdered, and then it came out that there were 2 survivors.
Right. And wasn't that kind of like, wow, how did two people survive this? And they said, well, we had our doors locked and yeah, we were in. And then more questions are just arising from that. And now when we looked at the blueprints from yesterday on Lana's channel, and we saw how the layout of the house is, it
Yeah,
kind of,
great
yeah,
question there, Marilyn. I'm curious how many more interviews with you know the 2 surviving roommates. I mean, I know they made a comment and said that they're not witnesses. We don't believe that they're suspects, and we don't believe that they're witnesses. But what are they? I mean, I think that they could answer so many questions.
absolutely. And hopefully they are. Hopefully they're being asked questions, and hopefully it's an ongoing relationship with law enforcement.
I think that one of the questions I would ask is, when's the last time that you saw them? Each individual one, because everybody was leaving at different times. Obviously, where were you? What were the plans that night? Did anything change? Was anything like, were you planning on doing this and that didn't happen? Did you have an issue with anybody? Obviously, but I would want to know when the last time that you physically saw them, and who were they with? What were their plans as far as you were concerned? Did they, message you on, a text message, social media, whatever? I noticed that you had posted, I would sit down and I would go through the social media with each one of them. And I would ask, like, this picture, who's this, who's this, who's this. But it's like, what type of an order do you just start blitzing these two girls, these type of questions? Were you and Bethany present in the home during the estimated time of the murders? Yep. So you'd ask them, were you
Hmm.
there? Did you leave at any point in time? How did you leave the house? Where were your vehicles? Do you guys drive? Did obviously, did you hear anything? Um,
Yeah. Did anything startle you in the middle of the night? Do you recall anything, any noise that now looking back with 2020 vision, you could say something happened?
Crime with watch with Kenny said, aware of any violence in other people's relationships. Yep.
Mm,
Um, are you in a relationship? Yep. You'd want to know.
mm.
Um, how did they get home? Absolutely. Absolutely. How did you guys get home that night? I want to know how they're pinning it at that 1 o'clock. I also want to know that when they said that you know, they went to their rooms, or it was just like, well, that's why I kind of played that part to open it up with. But if you went to bed and you're downstairs, you would have no idea. Like, how would you know? They wouldn't be able to tell you when somebody came home unless they were in their room texting, right?
Mm.
They can't claim to be sleeping, but also know when people come home.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You'd have to explain, like, well, no, I was downstairs in my room. I wasn't asleep yet because, do you think that they asked them what time they got home? Because you have to think about it. They're not, yeah, they're going to go out and get out whatever digital evidence that they can, but you have two people here that you're probably going to try to ask as many questions that you can. But how do you go about that? And but then you also have to think about these people, these two girls. They have families. They're going to call their parents, and they're telling their parents what the heck just happened. Their parents are shooting down to that school, or telling or like they're coming home.
Hmm.
Why
There's,
would those two girls stay there when why would they not think that they're going to come and finish the job and do something to them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't stay there. I wouldn't be anywhere near that place, right?
neither would I. Because if you were truly home at that time, and now this person or whoever has murdered these girls, and Ethan knows that you're a survivor and you're staying in that house, you're not safe. Or wherever you are, I would just undisclosed location.
Yeah. So it's like, you're if wherever those girls are from, they're going to go and be with their families, right?
Yes.
So then, how do you interview them if they're not in Moscow?
I would hope that they got interviewed before they left Moscow, but then I guess after that it would probably be either, on the phone or in if they're, not in town that an officer would have to go out to see them and spend the time to do that.
Okay, and then you have to think about this, guys. So now I want you guys to get into the mind of also, like, hey, you're also a detective as much as you want to be, compassionate. You don't want to lose, you know, being able to have these two girls being at your disposal to talk to and to get information. But if you're there and you don't see any footprints going out of that home, and you don't see any, like, it's no sign of forced entry, there's no blood outside the house, there's no exit path. Um, as a detective, you know that that's in the back of your mind. Like, you know, could these girls be covering for somebody? Do they know if anybody else was there? Does anybody else live there? Hey, does anybody else live here? Does anybody else stay here? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, because if and in fact there was no forced entry, which they've said, but also stuff with all the pictures that has been taken and all the media that's been surrounding that and the drone footage, I can't see any blood outside the house. So let's say that there is none. Well, how do you you have to keep that in the back of your mind that, all right, well, how did this person escape? How, or people? Why is there no
Right.
trail? Why is there no trail?
Right. And just like we see with Delphi, how in Delphi, no one's cleared, right? Everyone's a person of interest. And so I'm, I don't understand why that in this very early stage, we're only a little bit over a month into these horrific murders in Idaho, why everyone isn't still a person of interest. Nobody should be taken off the table unless GPS or something puts them somewhere
Yeah,
else.
there has to be a really good reason. You know what I mean? Or at least you
Absolutely.
would think. Um, but I think somebody wrote it in there. What would you guys say about this? Like, two survivors, they could be possibly having dreams, nightmares, things like that, flashbacks, all those good things. But just think about this, like, you're totally just put on the spot. You can't believe what's going on. Like, I need a minute, like, or like I keep talking to you, and every time I talk to you, I remember something new. So I guess my question is have Bethany and Dylan taken the the steps to be like pick up the phone, and they called the detective, on this day, and was like, "Hey, I thought about something else, yada yada, blah 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 blah," and
Mhm.
said this, and then another day goes by, and then something else, because they're going through their phone and they see something like this, and because that's what the detectives are going to tell you, like, here's my card. If you can think about anything else, anything at all, whatever, even if you don't think it's important. Um,
Absolutely. It might be.
so
Absolutely, they would say that.
yeah, so it's like, were any phone calls made the opposite way? Detectives are always calling you. Did you make any phone calls to the detectives? Like, how? I mean, I know that if this was my house that I lived in, and these were my roommates, and these were like my so-called like best friends, and I had great relationships with them. Um, I think everybody handles everything differently. So maybe somebody has a quicker, okay, as far as like wanting to function in the world and whatnot,
Mhm.
but you're going to like help in any way you can, whatever
Right.
whatever I can do. Like, here, you need my phone. Here, like, what do you need from me? Um, did Be-
Absolutely.
did Bethany and Dylan interact with any of the four victims as they arrived home? Great question, because that's something I want to know.
Mhm.
Um,
But supposingly, if they got home before and then went straight to their rooms, or, we don't know, right?
yeah. Are you afraid? Are either one of you afraid? Like, absolutely.
Mm.
Did any of them tell you that people were following them, or where did you go for dinner? Sure.
Mm.
And then you kind of want to also ask questions that would be so simple to see then how they like answer something like that.
Mhm.
You
Yes.
know, that's a tactic that, it's, um, did you text message at all? You know, th- when somebody wants to say, did you hear anything that night? Um, I think that it would be normal for them to say, yeah, of course I heard stuff, but like, that's normal. Like, when people are coming home, like, you got drunk people coming home on a Saturday night, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think it's more of like, did you hear any screams? You know, versus like, we're not talking about somebody opening up a cabinet and taking out nachos and making, nachos in the microwave.
Right. Or like coming home giggling or stomping. It would have to be something that maybe in the moment didn't seem bizarre, but then thinking back, knowing what has happened would be like, oh my gosh, that was like a muffled blank.
Hmm.
Thank you, Sandman 15. Um, Sandman says, I think Adam told Jack the girls were at the club, and that's why Kaylee was yelling at Maddie while walking to the food truck. Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I, a good question here. Did all the rooms have locks or just the room with the 2 surviving girls in it? You guys, the locks that they're talking about, these did not have key entry, like, these didn't have number punching codes or something like that.
Mhm.
These were your simple doorknobs that had a lock on the back of it. These weren't some padded doors with, each door had its own keypad. That's not. I don't know where that ever came from. I would love to know where that came from. That's the front door, you know.
Yeah. And wasn't there, didn't Xana's mom say that Xana's dad was working on the locks in her room? Like, I think it was a week before, maybe a couple weeks before. And I wonder why that was.
And see, but like, so who said that? Xana's mom? Was she
I could have
there? Like
sworn it
that's
was Xana's
well,
mom.
that's where you get the telephone game, and so
Mhm.
that to me, I can prove to you guys. You guys have all seen the all the TikTok videos, them taking pictures everywhere. You guys zoom in on the
Door.
zoom in on the doorknobs. These are regular doorknobs. There's no outside. They didn't have deadbolts on the outside. I mean, it's just a regular door. If anybody was working on anything, if you want to, that would be for Xana's dad to be more specific. But right now, that's all. None of that meets the eye of any of the actual video that's out there. So I'm totally like that's not even in my radar of like how would you lock how would you lock something like that? Well, we turn it on the inside and then if somebody's on the outside, they can press your buttons to get into your personal bedroom. That makes zero sense. Who would ever I'm sorry, but you'd put a lock on the outside of your door if you wanted like no one to get in when you weren't home or something like that.
Yeah, that
But
would be
if you needed to lock your room like that, I would just recommend that you probably shouldn't be in that house nor at that university or that area if that's how you're locking your bedroom door. I would strongly question. Like I could see like if you're having a party, what you would do is you would just put out like a bike lock on it, like out on the outside of it, and up top you could do those latches, and you could throw it on like that. But if you have to do all of that, I strongly question why you would need to do anything like that. Um, but then like think about it. Well, 4 people were just, brutally murdered with a knife. Maybe you did need to do something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you know that I don't know?
yeah.
That I didn't that I didn't go buy a, $500 door. Yes, I did actually see that, Stacy, about Jonathan Lee, Riches Investigates for college students, and their car was all their cars are just in an open lot.
Yeah, not secured. I think even Banfield reported on that, right? That they're not in a secure lot. And, when she was interviewing a
Hey, Mystery
detective.
Maverick.
Hi. Hi, Mystery Maverick. Long time. Well, not even. It's been like a day or two. Hi. John K., thank you so much for the support there.
The support.
Yeah.
Super sticker. Thanks, John K. Yeah, so all of that. You want to know what I think is interesting? People want to talk about the stuff that's on people's social medias, that this person is friends with that person, this person's friends with that person, and that everyone's going crazy about what these people are posting on social media. And these would be people that are friends of either the surviving roommates or people that were friends with, the roommates that were victims. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, that's the number one sign of like an inserter, because why would you post a picture of you and let's say Bethany or you and Dylan tailgating from 2 or 3 months ago?
Yes.
Explain that to me. Why on December 13th would you go to your Visco or whatever the hell it's called?
Visco.
Visco. Why would you go and post something on social media on December 13th, 2022 from a football game, from a Boise State home football game that you went to with one of the surviving roommates? Why would you post that to social media that you did in December or September? Why would you post that on December 13th?
Great question. I know that bothered you. And I think that your thinking is right there. And it is kind of an interesting thing to post.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would call my friend up and I would say, "What are you doing? You're making it seem like that I'm out like drinking and having a good time or something. Like why are you posting this picture that it has is so many months old,
Right.
literally on a month anniversary of all my roommates,
Yes.
you know? No, this is on December 13th, just a couple days ago. I would call up this person. I would say, you need to take that down.
Yeah. It made it look like it was just posted. And I think you had to dig a little bit, right? And it's only because you know certain things about football that you even were able to dig and find out that it wasn't
Yeah,
a recent photo.
I'll show people what I'm talking about that I have a problem with, because it's leading to things that are truly bullshit. And I'll put it up on the screen. Let's see. This one right here. I have a huge problem with this one because I'm a huge sports person, and I know that Boise State. I know that I went and checked out their schedule and when they had home games this past football season, because Boise State was ranked like in the top 5 in the country at the beginning of the season. Boise State was like a big woohoo, but then they got their asses handed to them a couple different times,
Mm.
which I loved. But because I'm an Ohio State Cincinnati girl, but I know football like I know the back of my hand, and I saw this picture and I'm like, this is like, what is this? This is from a while ago. Why would somebody post this? And let me bring it up here.
Yeah. The only reason that, and I'm sure a lot of people thought that it was posted recently, or that that, Dylan is partying and
Yeah.
living it up. And it kind of leads one to believe that, but it's only because Lana knows football that she was able to understand that this was something that was posted, that had happened earlier, was posted now, or like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
I mean, other people, here, I'll just show it. So it is what it is, but can you see it? I'm going to make it bigger. Here we go. Anyways, this was December 13th, 2022 was posted. All right. And this is, first of all, look at the trees. Okay. Fall. And here you go, your Boise Broncos. All right. And then if you go and you look at their schedule, at their home schedule, you're going to see the different weekends that they had home games for Boise State. But I'm just curious as to why this person posted this picture on December 13th, 2022 at 1:20 in the afternoon. Like, why? This is literally a month. So November 13th was so on the month anniversary of the deaths of those 4 students that were Dylan's roommates. Why is this girl posting, making it seem like they're out having a good time or something? Because it's a lie. That they weren't doing this on the 13th of December. Okay. It's because mommy and daddy aren't paying enough attention to them with their G-Wagons and SoFly. And it's one of my favorite songs back in the day. But it's really upsetting because you see something like this and it would make everybody think that, oh my God, Dylan's going, how can Dylan be out partying it up with people? And I just think that, and then you look at the other stuff that this person's been posting. It's just, if I could see if any of these people were, who are these people? That's Dylan. But you see all the stuff that's going around right now on the Facebook groups, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Thank you, Gypsy Girl. Perfectly said. You would think they would post a picture of them with the friends they lost. Yeah, and see, like, this wasn't Dylan that posted this. This was a girl that, by all of my investigation, who are these people to the victims? And that is what people thought. Exactly, Moonfish. It's exactly what people thought. People thought that Dylan was out partying. And that's not.
Right.
This is not from that date. This is not on December 13th.
Right.
That is not Ethan's red Jeep. That is a G-Wagon.
Right.
That is a G-Wagon. That is not a Jeep. And that is not a white Elantra.
Yeah, everyone thinks that's a white Elantra in the back. Yeah.
But all I know is that I would make it clear to my friend, I'd say to take that down.
Very true. It does make it seem like they just, posted it and Dylan's out drinking and having a great time a month after her
I'll be right
friends
back there, Bella.
brutally murdered. So it's unfortunate. Unsolved Crimes Uncovered High says, this is likely someone they know nothing about. If the police were able to obtain info on someone close to them, i.e. family, friends, sorority roommates, frat, they would have caught them. Yeah, possibly. Or they might know who it is and they're just building a case. But yeah, it's just, hearing Scott Roeder on Lana's channel about a week ago, it's making me lean more and more towards, because he says it's a very organized crime. And any of us who know about organized versus disorganized killers, for someone to be organized, this is just the most bizarre homicide. So I believe that it is organized, listening to what Scott had to say. And if that's true, we're dealing with a lot here. And Ellie has a lot, and cut out for them. And I'm glad they have a lot of help.
It was posted by Riley, by the way. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. There you go. That was posted by Riley. Anyways, I really wasn't going to give any, a couple other things I will post or I will point out are when it comes to like stuff like this. Let's see.
GJH says, so do bandanas when it's tops? It's really cold there. But this is I believe, when is this, like August, do you think?
September.
Lana? Oh, it is September. It might not have been. Look at like the guys in shorts.
Early September. I have the different dates down.
And when you're young, you can tolerate so much more.
Here you go. I'm going to show you guys this too. This is just the other crap that's being, posted. And
Thank you guys for hitting the likes, the thumbs up button. Lana always says you can also hit the thumbs down. Just make yourself be known. She's getting
Absolutely,
super.
make yourself known. If you don't like it, thumbs it down. If you do, thumbs it up. You get to,
You're in control.
yeah. Here you go. So again,
Mm.
the same type of stuff here. Who posts something like this on November 20th, 2022 at 3:39 p.m. and, just absolutely ridiculous. But these are supposedly friends, Oh wait, did it not? Yeah, it showed. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. Let me zoom in. Again, that's November 20th, one of the days of the pressers. And this is what's going around, on social media.
Well, this is a friend of, right?
Yeah, who writes that? I know. People that need attention, that's who do this. Point being is that you want to talk about people using social media to talk about this case, and people are upset about that. Well, I mean, I don't know who are friends with people that have something to do with this case and live in Boise or live in Moscow and post the stuff that they're posting on their, Viscos and their Facebooks and their Instagrams and their TikToks. This is nothing that's a joke. This is nothing that's like an inside joke, and the stuff that they're doing, it says a lot about who they are. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really a person, and that's really somebody that's in the inner circle of these, people that are either survivors or people that were victims, and people are friends of friends. And it's like when you see somebody post something like that, that's just crazy to me.
Absolutely. It's not in good taste.
Yeah. It just reminds me of, Frank Catropa posting with a fake alibi shirt just after Rachel Del Tondo was murdered, and he was a suspect. And then he wears a fake alibi shirt. Same type of crap. So
Yes. Bubbly Water says attention seeker of the very wrong kind. And that's also what Lana was saying in the beginning. It's kind of like people who are inserting themselves here by that picture, that we showed previous to that. I think that was a really good observation, Lana, that it's kind of creepy in that way.
Nads, Lana, why are you and everybody else focusing only on Dylan and not Bethany? Oh, I'm focused on everybody. I caught that. Absolutely. I'm focused on everybody. I just, where the evidence goes, the evidence goes. So I think it's how many days and the cases where it's at. That should tell you a lot of, I don't think that people were being honest in the beginning. And that's why it's where it's at. People can say they have their person. They just need more. Sure, absolutely.
Mama Fee, you are the biggest sweetheart. Mama Fee, thank you. And Mama Fee says, happy holidays to you and your families. And there's not enough kindness on YouTube, and that's beautiful, Mama Fee. Thank you so much for the love.
Yes, Mama Fee. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you very much. A couple other things that I do want to talk about is I don't know where it came from that Jack D is 26 years old. You guys, Jack D is 22. He's 22 years old, okay? So Jack D, 22. I put it there in the video that I played at the beginning. You guys go listen to the presser, okay? This police officer had no problem saying, okay, well, we don't believe that so and so and so and so and so and so have anything to do with this. Then they say, we are aware that a male subject that Kaylee and Maddie were, calling that night, we are aware of that. He doesn't then go on to say, which we believe has nothing to do with this. He just stops dead in his sentence, and that was all that he said was, we don't believe that the roommates, the hoodie guy, the 911 caller, anybody that was there passing the phone around with the 911 call, we don't believe that they have anything to do with this. We are aware, however, and then he even went as far as to say that the party driver that dropped them off, and then he then continues on with a different sentence to bring up, we are aware that Maddie and Kaylee were calling somebody that night, a male subject. We are aware, period. Mic drop in, what's up?
Pretty girl.
And then you hear then the family comes out, and they're the ones that are saying that, Jack D has nothing to do with this, nothing to do with this, nothing to do with this. And now you have people that are out there saying, well, this person's not following him anymore on social media. This person's not following him anymore on social media. And when people try to bring that to me, the first thing I say to them is, well, do you have a screenshot from before to then be able to show, like, this is what it was like then and this is what it's like now? And see, that's how I do my stuff is I vet all the way down to the core. I mean, and you hear people say, damn it, I wish I would have taken a screenshot. But I'm telling you, like, look at, she's the mom of Kaylee is she's following Jake Schreiger, but not following Jack anymore. And I'm like, well, maybe she was never following him in the first place. Do you have proof that was, going down like that? So when people bring stuff to me, which I appreciate, email me all day. When I can get to it, I do. Because I do. I love reading your guys' comments. I care about what you guys think. Because you never know who can come across what. And then it's like when you come across something, when you put a bunch of heads together, then you could, oh my gosh, think about this, type of stuff. So, and people think that Dylan lawyered up, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about how you would go about questioning Dylan and Bethany, because if and in fact she did lawyer up, that's what we're talking about. Now you have to go through their attorneys, and you have to, oh hey, can you just come down and can we just swab you? No, okay. So now you have to have a reason to now. You have to have
a good reason, yeah.
And then how about this? Nobody is talking about this. Ready? Like I want to see you guys light up the comment section right now in the live chat. Ready? Here it is. I've covered a bunch of different cases, and you hear about law enforcement or the media. Okay, they'll get wind of something like quote unquote search warrants. So and so, Sheldon Jeter Jr., there was a search warrant issued, for his house. Then there was a search warrant issued for the Facebooks of this person, this person, this person. Where is the talks of what search warrants have been issued? What's been searched? Any search warrants out there? How many search warrants do you think?
Let us know.
What do you guys think? What do you think any search warrants have gone out?
I mean, has anyone heard of any? Oh my God, Cali Thunder in the house. Hi,
Callie
girl.
Thunder. I don't even know who you are, but welcome.
Oh my goodness. Long time.
She said it. Would love to know.
Yep.
A
Yeah.
couple weeks ago was 26 search warrants. I didn't know that they coughed off that number. I thought they were talking about the FBI was 46 on the case. They just
Over
said
50.
50 warrants. Perfect. So here we go. But there's been no talk about, you know, let's see. We didn't need any search warrants for the vehicles. To get Kaylee's mail, I wonder if what that now if he was just signing a waiver, he'd have been probably okay. They say over 50. Wow, Dylan did. Jesus. Interesting. There you go. That's a great question. Does the FBI have to get a federal judge to sign that those orders if they're doing like if the FBI was to issue that? Well, I don't know why the FBI would have to issue it. Moscow's made it pretty clear that they're the ones that are in charge of this investigation.
That's true. That's
So
true.
I don't think the FBI needs to do any search warrants at this time because Moscow's got it under control and they're in charge. Shelly, you know what? It's been brought up because I want to know. I've never seen, a fraternity raided. And I thought we were almost going to have one. Was it last week? But no, because I'm just curious. How do you go about that? Okay, so if you have a search warrant for, let's say, Sigma Chi, well, you have to be pretty specific. You have to get that to a judge, and they're going to have to sign off on that. So how are you going to go about that? What makes it? What judge is going to give you that? You're going to, we want to search this person, this person, this person. Well, why? Because, their DNA was in the house because they were drinking there. There's all these solo cups that were swabbed. Okay. Just think about what, Fourth Amendment protects tenants and the owner of the home. Absolutely, Fourth Amendment protects that. But when you got probable cause and you can get that over to a judge and they're going to sign off on a search warrant. I think that they're just using the FBI for their manpower.
Yeah, and for the the FBI is going to have a lot more technology than Moscow when it comes to solving something this. I mean, you guys, 4 people were butchered inside that house. So yes, please, FBI, come and help. They're stationed inside of the parking lot of the Moscow PD, and they have their whole what is it their whole little kit and caboodle there. Nowhere man says, but search warrants, you have to state what you're looking for and where you're looking for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't just, you got to be specific. Yes, Mystery Maverick, someone said a great point today. All the media surrounding this case, and we didn't see the coroners taking them out, meaning the bodies. That's what they're talking about.
Absolutely. And she says it has no bearing on the case, but I think that's crazy considering the publicity. I agree with that. And maybe they agreed, with the media that was there that they wouldn't cover it. And I don't know. How they could have shielded that. I mean, we saw what happened with Kylie Rodney. There's spectators everywhere, eyes everywhere. So it's interesting, isn't it? And let's see. Jackie says, do you ladies think this case will get solved? That's a great question, Jackie. I have a lot of hope
I just saw
that
a
it
great
will.
question there too. Someone just, I wanted to see that one.
What do you think, Lana, about Jackie's question? Do you think this will get solved?
I'm with Scott Roeder on the fact that that I don't think, if you look at all the pictures from the home, there's going to be so much in that house in terms of, DNA, people's DNA. So I hope that, I think people did fight back and there were the defensive wounds. But if that DNA is not in the system because this person, they're not in the system, I think it's going to have to take more than the DNA. So I think that digital evidence, I think that somebody, being a witness and, finally saying, okay, I'm going to come clean and tell, something. But they're going to need, I think they're going to need a little bit more, because I don't think the DNA is in the system. So how do you get it? How do you get the DNA to match it to the DNA that you have underneath your, possible fingernails of the victims? How do you do that?
And thank goodness we have heard that they did bag everyone's hands. The coroner did bag the victim's hands, and hopefully there's stuff under there.
Yeah, as someone just said, I talked about the cell phones. I'm curious who all, when you want to say that you're cooperating with an investigation, it's a digital age. It's always going to be a digital age. That's the way things are. So people don't leave home without their cell phones. People don't do things without their cell phones. Your cell phone is like basically, it's like your fingerprint. You know what I mean? So were these officers really good about getting people's cell phones or trying to get their cell phones and seeing what they could get off of their cell phones?
You know what? I hope that they had their Apple Watch, because we've seen pictures, especially of Kylie wearing her Apple Watch. And I hope that she was wearing it at the time and had one. And I hope that others had devices like that, or like the 360 app, or something.
That hasn't even been talked about. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's like a big thing. Like, parents have people on their family plans so that, it's, hey, I'm not trying to track you or whatever, but it's, hey, I'm paying for this phone. I want to know that you're home and safe or whatever you're at. People are on the 360 Life app, or other forms of that.
Yes. And I really hope that they have that. And if they have that, there's a lot that could be gleaned from that information. Time of death, right? You guys with iPhones and with Apple Watches, tell us all of the stuff that we could learn. God forbid something were to happen,
Well, if you have an iPhone, your phone tracks your screen time when your screen uses. So, but the only thing that would maybe affect that, you need an expert to get on the stand to talk about that, which would be, in Sheldon's case, he had his Google and Apple all working so that it would count his steps.
right?
So was that on? So I think that they have a bunch of circumstantial stuff. I think that, you would hope how does somebody do this and not, essentially get caught when it's such a personal, you're not just going in there with, we were actually just talking about the other day with a gun and shooting somebody and,
Yeah, it's so personal. It's so intimate.
well, that you're just at risk. Your body's at risk. Like, but then when you think about it, if the persons that are doing this, then you're looking at the home that it's, in, and, it's not like a family of 3 or 4 that, okay, yeah, here, this person's supposed to be in here. Their DNA's in here. You're looking at a house like that. And, I think that a defense attorney has the upper hand when defending somebody with this, unless you have some really, really good evidence. There's a lot of, so my phone has a 360 app for my son. Yep.
Oh, all right. Unsolved cases in news. Yeah, that's a great tool to have for your child. And I'm hoping that some of these college students had that, because there's like someone said in the comments their Fitbit, and it will tell you when your heart stops, or when your heart's beating really fast.
You know what? I agree with Rebecca's comment here, and I want to highlight it because they were very quick to be taking items of the crime scene. Actually, like, do you mean like returning stuff to people? Because I agree. I wouldn't be I was actually just, if you don't need to do it, why do it? Why remove stuff from the house?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean,
Why give it back?
I don't think the family was saying that. Like, we want our stuff. Also, have you guys seen any of the? Has there been any cameras or video from the media showing any of the big stuff coming out? Did you guys see a couch come out? Did you guys see any beds come out?
That's a really great question.
Television.
Right?
Because whose stuff is that?
How would you divide it, right?
I'm just who gets that stuff? Because normally in a house, it's And I see. My thought is that none of the families are thinking about any of that, but I maybe would want stuff out of like my kid's bedroom, like their personal stuff. But I was actually shocked that anything was actually even coming out at that point.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about who these golf clubs belong to. It's just
Mothership says.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Absolutely. And it's kind of like a finality to it with certain things. And this is such a horrific crime. And I think that's why so many people are invested, is because it's outrageous and brutal.
Did you guys see, if you haven't seen it, you guys should watch it, the interview that Jonathan did with the woman that had the dog, Buddy. I think you guys should just listen to it, see what you think.
I couldn't, like, I'm too sensitive.
If you're an animal lover, yeah, I get that.
It was so hard, but yeah. Callie Thunder, if you get a chance, if you want to watch it, you could transcribe it for me. No, don't.
Okay,
Lana will.
No. So here, we asked earlier what kind of questions you would ask Dylan. And I think that probably Dylan and Bethany would have like very similar, questions. So here we go. Obviously you go to like people that people dated and things like that. Well, here you have Ethan and Xana. They were dating, each other, so I think that's what kind of is like, this should look like it's a domestic type of a situation. But here you have Ethan and Xana, like they're, boyfriend, girlfriend, right? And then you have, so then you have Jack and you have Jake, who are both actually like technically not dating, Kaylee or Maddie. But what questions would you ask, them? If you're an investigator, you find out, well, Jake was in Boise,
Well, you would have to start with, when did you talk to them last? When did you talk to her last? And what type of conversation did you have with her last? Right?
And I know everybody wants to know about these phone calls. Well, guys, guess what I want to know about? I don't really care about the phone calls that were unanswered, because everybody knows that when you're doing calls like that, you're texting people. So you're like texting them. I want to know what the text messages are. What was she texting you? Like, what do those text messages say? Because that's going to tell you what she wanted to talk to you about, pretty much. You know what I mean? I guess allegedly, I don't know where the information's coming from, but there are cars outside of.
Yeah, see it.
The Sigma got to run outside Sigma. What?
I would.
I don't know.
I'd want to know if after getting all those phone calls, all those missed phone calls, if he woke up the next day and called her back or texted her back.
Yeah. I have Jake is a couple years older, and I have him as, already graduated, and either he was either he took a job at Boise, intern at Boise. Uh, Based off of my investigation, I have him not living in Moscow. So, again, that's really never, come out, but he does talk about how he was a couple years older than her in high school and stuff like that. And then he was in Boise that night, and
With her
Maddie,
friends.
yeah, and then Maddie had a certain time that she would talk to him at night, and that was part of like the TikTok video that they have like a scheduled time. And Boise's actually an hour ahead of them in Moscow, so like they talked at 8, which was 9 o'clock his time, which is like before right before bed or whatever. So, but they're actually on Christmas break right now. Are they still in school? They are on break. To answer that question, I think you would ask, "Are you okay? Did she sound okay? Yep. Did you call her back? Do you know what she wanted? When's the last time you saw her? Where are you residing? What do you do for a living? Are you a student? Why'd you guys break up? When did you guys break up? Are you seeing anybody? Is she seeing anybody?"
Did she sound happy how did she sound the last time you spoke to her? And a lot of open-ended questions, and you let them talk and you don't step on them when they're talking. And yeah. Very important. Interviewing for an interrogator is very the seasoned interrogators are really good at it.
I thought Jonathan was leaving. He said he was leaving Moscow. He didn't leave. He didn't leave. All right. Ask yourself, Lana. Great coverage and analysis.
Boozle Debop.
What a
Boozle
name!
Debop.
That's a mouthful.
They told us one time in chat that it was a song, but I forgot whose. I almost want to say it's like Van Halen, but I don't want to like offend them. But yes, and everyone knows that Terry is the stuffed animal, right, you guys? Because I saw that in chat. Terry is the stuffed animal that was in the TikTok video. So yeah, it's like it's a tiger, like a little stuffed tiger.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Chris Perry. Yep. That's why I say weeding stuff out, and then be aware of the internet trolls, guys.
Yes.
It's a real thing. If you're going to go into those Facebook groups, please understand that your name, that's when you're in a group, then whatever your name is on Facebook, like that's what people do. They dig on people, and just please be careful. It's not a good, I pray for people in Facebook groups, unless you are going in incognito at some point, but some people have nothing better to do, and it's a sad, sad thing, and they will make stuff up. They will lie on purpose, and I don't care to engage in it, rationalize it, come with proof, come with receipts, or there's the door. So, well, what time did you pick up the dog? Yeah. Did you see the dog at all? Well, she brought the dog with her. And also, that's actually probably speculation if she brought the dog with her. Maybe Jack had the dog. So Jack had the dog. So when she came to town, and
right,
she was picking up the dog.
Yeah. How often did she keep the dog in that house? Did you have the dog some of the days? Was it like a shared custody thing?
And people talk about, oh, she was leaving him. You guys, um, she was going to Austin from February to June. That's it. 4 months. 4 months. Um, she didn't even have a place to stay yet as of October 16th when she made her post. But from the post, she was taking the dog, but 4 months, February to June. And that was it. So people saying that she was leaving him or leaving there, that's just not out there.
Yeah. Patricia Almond, what Lana's talking about is people saying that Kaylee was leaving, to go to Texas, and it just wasn't a forever thing. So that's what she's talking about right now.
Yeah, February to June.
Chris Perry, I love that. Chris Perry says, my dad was a policeman 31 years and I was a criminal 15 plus years. That's awesome. I know both sides of the law. 48 hours with crime scene photos on make an arrest. Fact. That's hilarious.
Janine says, would be most interested to see phone, email, social media messages, especially deleted messages. This will take time as we'll need to warrants. Yep. To release data. Yep. And that's why I think in the beginning, it was trying to get a hold of everything that you possibly could before any of these kids lawyered up. Because guys, I can't sit here and tell you guys that lawyering up, that's the right way to go about it. And that you're just supposed to cooperate through your lawyer. Mm-hmm. If my son was any one of these kids, he'd be lawyered up, but we'd be cooperating to the fullest. And it would be cooperating to the point that we want to make sure that my son's cleared. And then we also want to make sure that we're helping in any way that we can to make sure that justice happens. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Depending on how you're coming at my child, but as a parent, that's like our thing. Like we get in protective mode. Like you want to protect your kid. So you can. I don't think there's anything wrong with lawyering up. And in fact, I always encourage it because that's how people could easily get wrongfully accused and then wrongfully convicted, is when you don't lawyer up. So
yeah, I think it's smart for everybody to lawyer up and then, cooperate, but definitely lawyer up.
Yeah, just because you lawyer up, it doesn't mean that you're not cooperating. It's like, hey, I don't know what's going on right now because the way that you guys are, it makes me feel like you guys think I had something to do with this and I did not. So yeah, I want to definitely get my lawyer over here and then we can sort everything out. But yeah, and you would think that, a lot of these kids, a lot of their parents have a lot of money. So it wouldn't surprise me at all that they would have lawyers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lana, do you think Moscow law enforcement is equipped for this? I don't think, I don't necessarily say like, are you equipped for it? It's, I think this would shock anybody. Okay. But when you're in the big leagues versus if you're in the minor leagues and then you get called up to then, okay, here, come on and pinch hit in the World Series. And you're like a rookie, I think experience goes a long way in anything in life. Are you a better player your senior year or your freshman year? You're going to make freshman mistakes. Your experience, you're a veteran. I think especially for handling like the investigative part of it, like getting and gathering the evidence, knowing what to ask, that type of stuff. Not letting stuff pass you by. Like digital evidence is so important. So you should have gotten out there and you should have used your mouth and asked all these local businesses, these small businesses that you have great relationships with because of the university. Like basically without the university, you're not going to have any of these businesses here. But you should have used your mouth and said, hey, we're asking all businesses to download this date. We don't want to miss out on any of the surveillance that you could have possibly gotten. Our campus is small. You could easily get from one point where this house was to the opposite side of it, to the left side of it, to the right side of it, within a couple minutes. So I would have been utilizing my mouth and making sure that I would have gotten all the digitals, because we know how that goes. After 7 days, it gets deleted, or, after a month, it gets deleted,
Absolutely. Yeah.
gets written over and stuff like that. So I think the experience part of it is you only get that from, unfortunately, doing it. And I know that sounds so sad because, but how many homicides have they covered?
And one that's this brutal, you're really going to want like a lot of hands on deck and a lot of experienced law enforcement detectives there who know how to look for the little intricacies that can easily get passed up if you don't have the experience, like Lana was saying.
Yeah, I think that, every blind squirrel finds a nut, okay? But I look at them and I think, like, there's a bunch of jabronis on that September 1st camera, that body camera. And, I hope that's not how they acted, I just think fundamentals matter. If you do it the right way all the time, then you're going to be ready for whether the phone call is for a homicide or if it's for a fucking noise complaint. I know that sounds, cliche or whatever, but fundamentals in anything matter.
Yeah, and any law enforcement officer would tell you that sometimes the most mundane calls are the most dangerous. And I have a hard time understanding
Merry
how
Christmas, Jessica G. Sorry.
Merry Christmas. I have a hard time understanding how this ride along was even allowed to exit the vehicle if you're talking about, there's a lot that can go wrong. And you're just letting him wander around this active call that you got, But yes, Jessica G, Merry Christmas. Thanks for saying Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to everybody in here. Saying hi. Merry
Hi,
Christmas.
Austin. What's up? What's up?
You guys hunkering down.
Thank you so much, Unsolved Crimes Uncovered. We love you. Thank you. I was going to show another picture because I want to talk about the Venmo.
Okay.
So this will round it out. Let's see. Let me do this.
Yeah, I sat running errands, the liabilities with that. It's I didn't understand it looking at it. But, I mean, Tom, I know you're always getting here right when we're about to end. It's so good to see you, Tom. It's been a minute. Unsolved cases and news. I think there should be more analysis. Yes, I agree with that. Bree M, thank you so much for the love and the support. Appreciate you. Everybody, while we wait for Lana to bring up the Venmo picture, have a very safe Christmas. And a happy, warm one.
All right, I'm going to bring it up. Here we go.
Mr. Sentinel, I agree with that. MPD's insurance premiums just went up. Hi, Ray11. I hope I said that right. Jen Madison, hello. Tennessee Shine, L&D. Lucy Adams. April 418, thank you so much for the love. Okay, we're on now.
Okay, here we go. So check this up. Before you guys leave, you need to take a peek at this. All right. So I was looking at, this is Dylan's Venmo. And remember we're talking about like when she moved in, this furniture, everything like that. So The 25th, furniture. Then she says the word direct deposit. I truly think that she meant security deposit, but whatever. And then Maddie Mogan charged Dylan for something, which I'm going to get to here in a second. But this is just, the Venmos. And you guys remember on November 12th morning, we see the coffee Venmo. And it was coffee with an exclamation point. And the only transactions we see people paying Kaylee was just Ethan. Ethan paid Kaylee and did Maddie paid her as well, right? I think that's what I have here. But I was curious, did like the other roommates not like coffee? Did they not get coffee? Like what's up, Or is coffee really coffee? Those are basically the options. So hold on one second.
And thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you so much for the love.
Thank God it's not my phone there, right? That phone has seen better days. Sometimes you gotta laugh at. Thank goodness it was not my iPhone 14. Otherwise, I'd be crying about that. So here's the other. Here you go. Here it is. So. Okay. So it says here on house things was right up above that. And then here, Dylan paid, again, rest of furniture. Okay, September 2nd. And Xana charged Dylan for coffee with, again, an exclamation point. And so I was like, okay, good to know. Dylan drinks coffee. Okay. Now, this could be so little. All right. But I pay attention to everything. And you guys can say, Lana, you're just anal. And I'll be like, that's fine too. But I was like, okay, so then why didn't Kaylee get Dylan and or Bethany coffee that morning on, November 12th? If everybody's a coffee drinker in the house, you know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was interesting that, Xana charged Dylan, for coffee on September 2nd. And it's coffee with an exclamation point. And then if you go look at the Venmos that were going on November 12th, Kaylee looks like she did the coffee run. And it was, Ethan that paid and Maddie that paid. And
do you guys really think it's $30 coffee equals weed? Because I would, or like wake and bake coffee, cheddar from Texas, I would be like thinking coffee means like a bump because it's like an upper. But yeah, I mean, it could be, right? Because like I think I was more creative with the words I used. I had fun with them. But we used to call weed cooking because pot, so we call it cooking, but it was illegal back then. And so you had to be really careful. Your parents couldn't catch you with that. Starbucks isn't cheap. Yeah, it's saying totally. Fin precision. What word would you use for actual coffee then? I don't know. Maybe I think there is one of their Venmos that says Starbies. So I think that was like a Starbucks reference, or maybe it's a code word also. Coffee plus, Mr. Sentinel. Hot Ham says, oh my God, Bella, the other day my friend said her 19-year-old son had never heard the term pot. Really? Is pot like an old? Is it really? Am I so old? Oh, that's so hilarious. Mystery Maverick, we called it weed. We were too high to make up a word. Absolutely. That's hilarious. We're waiting right now. Boozle, bebop, good night. Pot, you say? Absolutely. Thank you all for being here. We're waiting for Lana to come. and tell us more about this coffee.
All
There
right,
she
sorry about
is.
that. Sorry about that. I had to grab some water, man. But guys, this coffee. Do you think coffee is code for anything? Because I'm wondering why, like, Dylan didn't get coffee on November 2nd or November 12th morning.
They're saying in chat that it could be weed, but I'm saying I would think that coffee was an upper.
I would think it'd be Coke.
That's what I would think. Good night, Christine Robbins. Happy holidays.
Yes, good night, everybody that's, leaving or if people are entering. Good
Why
day.
coffee with an exclamation point? Catty Cake says, right? Exactly.
It's like, give me my coffee right now.
Coffee.
But something that I was just thinking about though, and like I said, it could be nothing, but on that morning, which would have been Saturday morning, what it looks like happened is somebody went for a coffee run and people are paying for their coffee. Well, I noticed that like Bethany and Dylan didn't, but I was like, well, maybe they're just not coffee drinkers because I fucking can't stand coffee. So I get it. But then I saw this and I was like, okay, she was a coffee drinker. And the only thing that I'm trying to explain with all of this is well, maybe they weren't even talking, you know. You know how you get in beefs with your roommates and well, no, she can go get her own today. Come on now. But I at least was able to find that Dylan at least was a coffee drinker. So I was able to check that off my list. I was wondering, Bethany and Dylan, I wonder if they're coffee drinkers. Why didn't they get in on the coffee run? So here I at least can tell myself that, hey, Dylan was a coffee drinker, or does coffee mean something else? Who knows? Also, who charges somebody for coffee? No offense, but like, isn't it just a couple bucks?
Well, it depends. Like if you go to Starbucks, like one of their other Venmos said Starbucks, it could be maybe even $7. But yeah, I wouldn't. I just get it. That's why it's love when
Somebody has their thinking caps on. Yes, it was September 2nd was the day after the noise complaint. But guys, no offense, but like, who didn't they? What coffee? Where are you? Like, you get me on this time, I get you on that time. Like, I just can't recall me ever asking my roommate, be like, hey, you need to give me that $2. Like, you need to give me that $3. You need to give me that $5.
No, because your roommate would get you back. Like,
What?
If you didn't drink coffee, they'd pick you up some tea next time. You know what I mean?
Moonfish says that's the name for Adderall. Possibly Gypsy Girl's like, my coffee's $7. No offense, but even if your coffee was $7, I wouldn't come back and be like, you see how like she charged her, like she charged Dylan. There's a difference of like somebody paying you and you charging somebody, just so you know how that works. That just,
Thank you, Ashley Lee. Thank you. And thanks to the mods for real, because it's been a
thank
fun
you,
night.
Ashley. Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Chris,
Yeah, you get them the next time, right, Ellen?
yeah. So I'm just curious if like, I wouldn't charge somebody for coffee. I would just be like, hey, can you pick up this, and then if you try to charge me for something, I'd be like, are you kidding me? All the fucking coffees I bought you. But it's, I don't know. I'm just a logical person.
Yeah.
But the day that I charge somebody for coffee, I'm like, damn, how expensive is this coffee that I need to freaking make sure I charge you for it? Girl, you remember when I got you that coffee yesterday? That goes on the whiteboard, and that is $5 in my column because we used to use our whiteboard of like, we had our electric bill, you got your cable, your internet, and all that stuff. So
you would put coffee on there? I hope you wouldn't. No,
I would never. It's for bills. Like, that's what I'm trying to say is, hey, you're gonna buy me a beer. Like, I could see if someone's like, give me a you got my tab at the bar and it was like $30. Like, that's what you're charging me for. But Yeah, I don't know. I know Starbucks is
Mm.
expensive.
Metro neighborhood knows about Bauhaus.
Um,
Yes. But yeah,
but yeah, that was just
yeah.
closing it out. Um, Whiteboard, use sorority. What?
Where?
See, Lisa thinks it might be Coke too. I think that exclamation point means something.
I know. At least put an exclamation point. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling
No.
you, because I'm
It's
like,
a bump.
I'm like, who puts coffee and then puts an exclamation point after coffee? It's like, give me my coffee. Mm.
It's hilarious.
Can you imagine if they wrote Adderall exclamation point?
Adderall. What would
Adderall,
that mean?
5 milligrams times 4. Let's go. I'll see you at the Sigma Chi house. You know.
That's great.
But I was just curious your guys' thoughts on, you know, we know how people write things. Oh, thank you so much for the Merry Christmas wishes. You too.
Put it up. I want to see who's saying it. I didn't see
Uh, it was right there.
It's
There you go.
going now.
On
Oh,
some
oh
pieces
my
of news.
gosh. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Yes.
I doubt police would notice if you wrote Adderall. Yeah, I mean, right? Especially if you guys are all prescribed it. It's like,
All right.
you know. Again, I think it's nothing. Absolutely, Jen. Could be nothing. It's I was just pointing out the fact that following morning on November 12th, when they all went out on November 11th,
Mm.
that I felt Bethany and Dylan were left out of the whole coffee run, and then Ethan had to like re-up his money and send her like another $11 or something like that. That morning. So
Yeah.
I just know I remember like in the mornings when we would like do football games, it was like somebody was going on a beer run and you would give people the money that was going on. Like we all wouldn't hop in the car and, okay, hey, we're all going to the liquor store this morning. No, it'd be like one or two people are going and you'd give your money and they would go and do it, especially if you're underage. Thank you there, Gypsy Girl.
Gypsy girl, that's so sweet. It's her coffees cost $7, so that's literally what she's doing. What a sweetheart. Merry Christmas.
I'll just donate that straight to Bella. You couldn't pay me to drink coffee.
No, it's like the other day she got me, it was the sweetest thing. She got me coffee. I was like, oh my God, you got me coffee. So sweet. Yeah.
Total waste of my time.
It's such a waste of her time.
But
I appreciate it because it woke me up.
And last but not least, again, thank you, mods, for modding.
Yes.
Let's see. Any questions you guys have about any of the work that I've shown? I can answer any of those questions. I know, like during the videos that are pre-recorded, plus then, anything that you see with the whiteboard and stuff, which was yesterday. I know that it's being talked about more, as I noticed that some people were using the whiteboard in their videos, which is great. Whatever.
They did.
Who doesn't love the whiteboard? But
everybody does.
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa Odems, thank you so much for the love.
Oh, damn! Just getting here. I'm just gonna back out and watch the replay. LOL. Lana, you and Bella are doing amazing research. Thanks for being whip smart.
And I love your picture of the hummingbird. You know that when you look at hummingbird wings like that through sun, they're rainbows. But even like, mourning dove wings, it's just interesting. There's rainbows in wings.
Well, and I guess we'll give them the spoiler alert here, just for the record. The cops went back to 1122.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna tell them? Okay, but don't tell them.
I'm not gonna tell them anything else. I'm not gonna tell them anything else.
Who.
1122. They revisited that morning on September 2nd. After midnight, it becomes September 2nd. So September 1st, they go there at 8:30. They had to go back. Okay.
Which you guys saw the September 1st, and that was right 8:34 was. And then just think what happens.
Yeah. So, I'll get that out to you guys as soon as I can. Lana, how do we reach you? It is
Lana at Fight for
yeah,
a Family.
yeah. Is it in the description?
Might be. I can go into chat and drop it, but I think like I'm really far behind if I go
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, so they had to go back. So do we have any more lines? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to put something together at the moment with some other stuff that but I have to protect my work now, I guess. So that's been the holdup, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get out a nice video. Oh gosh, the door just opened down here. Just the wind just blew it in.
Oh my gosh, I heard
Yeah,
that.
talk about scary.
Yes, that would scare me. You've heard that, you guys? Oh my goodness.
Gosh, thank God I'm just like totally
Have nerves of steel?
absolutely because it would have like probably made someone scream.
I know.
Yeah, did you guys hear that?
Yes, so much so.
Yeah, the door just literally blew open. And I was like, oh God, here we go. This is my last day.
It's so scary.
Gosh.
Ugh.
Yeah, so the cops had to return on September 2nd. So it was basically after midnight. And like I said, we'll get a nice video here. A couple things I wanted to do. And gonna make sure that the stuff was properly protected, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't want to get struck on my own work.
I know, that was so bizarre. But I mean, but I told you. I just want to be fair to say, I warned you that you didn't believe me. But yeah.
Thank you, Savvy Alley. Yeah, the whiteboard's my fave. I'm a big I'm an old school person. I'm an old school person, like binders, whiteboards, but you have to have it in front of you when you're actually like doing an investigation to like be able to put stuff together like that. Print stuff out. Should I probably go through a tree a year. But oh, Loner Wolf says I sold drugs for years. And the easiest work was just posting up at a party house. Maybe you should get back. Maybe you should get back to that line of work.
Well,
Just
maybe there's a
just
reason
kidding.
that, yeah, they might not be doing it for a reason.
Um,
He's a loner now. Oh, thank you here for the truth. My coffee has an exclamation every morning, ladies. Don't overthink it, especially after these kids saying overs.
yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I love hearing you ladies have such an intelligent conversation. It's so refreshing. Honestly, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
Say, Katie, thank you.
Thank you so much. Lots of body cam. Lots of body cam. Got the whole month. Every month.
Yep.
Went ham. No, I'm just kidding.
A lot of body cam. Just boop, 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 boop.
Dash cams, body cams, house cams.
House cams.
You name it cam. N cam.
If you were sleeping, you wouldn't put. Wait.
The wind is nuts.
We are.
The wind is nuts.
But that's happening now, right? That's happening there's a big storm coming.
Yeah, the Midwest is just gonna get wrecked.
Beckfist says, "You're great. Keep on. Thank you so much for the love of the channel."
I want to show you guys. I want to know your guys' opinion about something. If you saw your kid posing like this, how you would feel about it. And then I have, what else is this other stuff? Oh, I want to ask you guys about a bedroom. See what you guys think. And what else?
Nemo sign. So good to see you. I always think I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these pictures. Tell me what you guys think. First up will be, let's see, we'll go with a picture of, here we go. This was on October 16th, 2022 at 11:07 a.m. Okay. And I want you guys to tell me what you see. All right, here we go.
Can we see the top? Yeah, we need
Yeah,
to see.
I'm gonna back out a little bit. It's just okay. I'm watermarking this with my chats.
Yes.
That made me laugh.
Alexa Luther. Yeah, I love Lana. Thank you for being here.
All right, so what do we think here, guys? This is October 16th, 2022, and this is allegedly one of the bedrooms at 1122 King Road. I want to know what you guys think. Now, all this is right here, guys, that's like a reflection, like the sun. So it's not like a wall or something. Let me take a look at chat. Okay. They noticed the boots. Oh, wow. Super snowstorm here. Someone says bedroom 3. I see Dawn's bedroom. Facebook is old people is what my daughter says. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too. I see plants. Yep. I see boots. Welcome, Lacey. Well, glad that you can make it. Trying to catch all these. Definitely bedroom 3. Someone's in the trees. You see someone in the trees? Oh, God. Boston, I want to thank each and every one of you. You all rock. You are so kind in chat, love.
Boston.
You're so kind in chat.
You're the best in chat.
Boston, are you finishing up your Christmas shopping?
How about wrapping?
Did you wrap yet? Okay. So, yes, this is allegedly the downstairs bedroom. on the second level, bedroom number 3. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Say it. You're gonna say it?
Yeah. How come they would put plants in this room that doesn't seem like it gets any sunlight?
Well, those plants don't necessarily need
Are
that
they
much
fake?
sunlight. No. Yeah.
Some of those plants do well in the dark. Thank you. Okay, Paul. Thank you for that. Paul's a plant guy. Thank you.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
But I thought you were going to say something else.
Well, there's other things, but I just wanted to talk about those plants really quick.
Oh, okay. They're not succulents. No.
Okay.
They're just plants.
So was it like a thing to put your boots in the window?
With your plants?
No, I'm just because this isn't the only room that has this. You know, this isn't Maddie's room, because Maddie's room's obviously on the 3rd floor. So is it like a thing to put your boots in the window? I didn't know if it meant something. It means you're knocking boots. Appreciate that.
All right, Jay.
Anyways, so this was October 13th, 2022. Okay. Now, moving on, we're going to come back to that, but here we go.
sneakers hanging from a street wire, Patricia says. Maybe, maybe. I didn't see a Venus flytrap, but maybe there is one. I'm like, it's not that big on my screen. While we wait. Oh, and it's up.
All right, so this is a post from, I'm just going to zoom in so you can see the date, okay? Right there. November 13th, 2022. Now, this came from somebody that's Pacific time zone, so that 2:54 a.m. That is actual 2:54 a.m. And now that would be basically at the time of the murder.
Right.
The murders. All right. And this is being posted at, 3:00 in the morning. Okay.
Right.
It's from, this is what they all wore to that mini, like the night before, the 11th night.
The 12th night? Because
The 11th night, like on Friday night. This is
okay.
okay. Because there's a different picture, and that actually somebody posted it on the day that it reflected. So yeah, the Betty's ball. That's it. Now again, this was posted basically at 3:00 in the morning. Again, this is Pacific. This is West Coast time zone. And it just, this is the same person that posted that October 16th picture, like looking out the window. What was that picture of? Like the same person that posted this picture, Jenna McClure, at 3:00 in the morning, basically at the time of the homicides, posted the October 16th picture of the window where the plants were. Like, what would be the purpose of taking that picture? I'm just curious, like, why would you take that picture that she took?
I don't know who they're flipping off.
Oh, no, not this one. Not this one.
Oh, you mean the other one?
Yeah, the one of the window. So
you can't ask me because I'm a photographer. And
well,
for
so
me,
something caught your eye. It's like, so
and Visco people.
I wasn't looking at chat, so I'm back over here so I could see it.
And people that post on like Visco, it's kind of like a different aesthetic. Do you know what I'm saying? So they might be like, oh, look at my nature aesthetic with my green, my plants. It's just weird. You know how social media is. So I don't know how to judge it.
Obviously, I think that this was taken earlier in the night and that it was posted at 2:54. Yes. I mean, could it have been taken at 2:50 a couple minutes beforehand? I don't know, maybe, I guess, but I don't think so. I think this was from the night before. But this was posted at 3:00 in the morning. And multiple people posted at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And
weird.
I don't know. And then this is the same person that posted a picture of that window, bedroom 3. Just bizarre.
And they don't live there, supposedly.
Yeah, no, none of these. Yeah, the girl that posted this doesn't live at that house. That's not her room. That's not nothing to do with her.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I just can't remember the last time I was at my friend's house when I was in college and I took a picture of their plants in a window. And then I posted it to social media.
Okay.
But but think about it. And then I posted it to social media.
True.
So then think about what I'm trying to get at when I'm saying this. Is that's an entry point into the house. Okay, windows are entry points. Doors are entry points. So I just can't remember the last time in my whole entire life or last time of any of my roommates' lives that I was on social media and came across them posting a picture of my room window. Like, what? I'd be like, what in the fuck are you doing? Why are you putting on social media my window for anyone to see? Um, and Alcine's like, "What? You never did that?" Yeah, no, man. Um, but now somebody might think, okay, it's not a big deal, right? Well, fast forward just literally a month after that, just after she posted the the picture of the window, that 4 people were murdered in that home.
Mhm.
So I think that
Mm-mm-mm.
that's not her room. That's not even where she
It's
lives.
not even her house.
Yeah, that's not even where she lives.
Right.
Um, so I'm just,
And that could potentially be the entry point because that's, the
it's no,
room.
that's not Xana's room. I can go back to it, but so then I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm missing the point of the picture on why that would be posted. Okay,
Mhm.
meaning like, what's in it? Like, maybe is there like, what? Are you kidding me? And you see a freaking like, look at
Mhm.
what's in this that you need. What is this?
It's
What's
a spray bottle for the plant leaves. It's a watering can for the plants. There looks like there's a perfume thing, and then cowboy boots.
well, and so like I think it's about the boots. I think it's like their little like inside joke about these damn boots. Okay, because Maddie had the same thing or whatnot. So the only thing that makes sense to me is that she was literally taking a picture of the boots, and it's like their little inside joke thingy. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, that's otherwise.
Could potentially absolutely be like the fact that maybe Maddie puts hers in the window too or something.
Well, I just think it's like a thing that they're doing. Like, but that would be someone's room, so they're putting the boots in the room. So is that even more so that this was somebody's room? Um, and then look at the. Okay, so well, no house has curtains. Okay, you have to bring your own curtains. All right, so that's just how life works. They don't put curtains in your house. So whose curtains are these? Who put these curtains? Like, whose room is this? And if it's not somebody's room, why are there curtains up? Like, well, let me just furnish a room that I don't use.
Now, do you think this is room 3 or not?
I know it's room 3.
Right. So that's what I was saying. So it's potentially the
I think
entry point could
well,
potentially be this room.
that's you'd have to ask law enforcement that, but I'm just curious who's if this wasn't a bedroom, then who put the curtains up? Well, the person that used to live there. That's what everyone's gonna say. Oh, they were probably left from before. Well, absolutely, it could have been. But I'm just curious, like, oh, hey, mom, by the way, I want to buy some curtains, like, for my room, I want to get some blackout blinds. Those look like blackout blinds, by the way.
I can't tell. I mean, they look dark, but I can't tell if the light's coming in there, like on the left.
They just look real thick.
Oh yeah,
Those look like those don't look like,
those look like.
But I was thinking to myself, who the hell puts this on their social media? Like, this is on her freaking wall. October 16th, 2022 at 11:07 a.m. She just woke up and posted this. Like, what a bless these people. Bless them.
Mm-mm-mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you guys can have at that. Let me see what else here. I think the boots are very significant. I think all of it's significant. If somebody was taking pictures of my house and putting them on the internet, I'd have a problem with it. Because that's just weird to me unless it like there's no caption. I don't know if you can even caption these. I don't have a Visco. Um Visco. But it's just
Yes.
it's weird. What's the date on the pic post? It's 10/16. It's about a month before the homicides. 99 pictures are drunk thong giving the finger. One is a plant in boots. Exactly. Just totally random, right? or is it, you know?
Chris Perry's been like hilarious tonight.
Well, it's just, come on, like you have to talk like why? Window looks unlocked. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying now, you're asking somebody, the cops are telling us, hey, there was no forced entry. Well, I don't know. Someone looks like they're just posting left and right about the house and entry points. Like this doors or this window is completely unlocked. Here you go. You know, it's just like, but hey, what else I have? Okay, now this is a post. If you were to see this on your daughter's page, just curious if you'd be okay with it.
Mm-mm.
Just want to see all those parents say, oh my God, this is, you know, this is like a stoner conversation. God, I'm just not a weed smoker, so it definitely is not. Here's your next picture.
Here we go.
Okay. Now, mind you, these are people that are posting that are involved in this homicide by friends of the victims or friends of the surviving roommates. Okay. And this is this is what you see. There you go.
But this is Visco again. Visco.
What do you guys think about that?
Zombie mom. No, I didn't. Zombie mom.
I'm not shaming the way anybody dresses. I'm asking if, you know, like, what is this? This is not Jenna. This is, again, I'm just like, wow. I think that it's something that you would send, like, you know, each other. This is a public post, you know? Again, these are the friends that are posting on social media that are friends of either the victims or the surviving roommates. And this is people that are, you know, you want your 4chan? Here's your 4chan. Here you go. This is what 4chan is. Who are these people? Who cares? Who cares about these people? These are the people that you guys are in Facebook groups wanting to go ham about. These are the people.
Feminem, I agree with that. I wouldn't post it, but I do think it's a really nice composition and tells a story. As a photographer, this tells a story, and that's what you always want to do with a photo.
Okay. Well, I mean, 15 days after my friends were brutally murdered,
Absolutely.
I don't think that I'd be posting this type of stuff.
I wouldn't either.
If my friends were just murdered.
But I think this says that they're not very close.
Chris Perry says
exactly.
Visco was supposed to be braggy frat event style pics.
It is, you know, yeah, it is. That's exactly. It's really art. It's supposed to be like this whole like, yes.
Bree says arrest the entire college. You guys, I'm not saying. I saw this and I was like, oh my God. First of all, I'll give them props. Like nothing is showing, right? Like this isn't nudity, right?
Not even lips.
But I was like,
his lips. I mean, his
like post
only
this
his
15
eyes.
days after your friends were brutally. I just don't think that this is what I would be doing. But then again, I mean, everybody handles everything differently. But these are the people that are, you know, when you want to say, oh my God, have you seen 4chan? Here you go. You guys are just reading 4chan? Well, I'm going to show you what 4chan is. This is 4chan. This is the people that are on 4chan and that people are being talked about. This is them. So-and-so's friends with Dylan, and Dylan did this, and da-da-da-da, and David Loach, and David this, and David that. Well, here you go. This is what this is. These are the people. And so they are kids living their life, have moved on. Well, I don't call people kids if they're they're these young adults. And whatever. It is what it is, though, right? And it's just, yeah, do you think like a detective is like, hey, so David, um, or do you think that they're like, who are these two people in this? Well, I don't know. It's this person's like, Riley's post. So is this Riley? And who's the guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, your hands look pretty bruised to me. His hands look tore up, right?
Yeah, but only one hand, right?
This one right here,
Left, maybe.
the left one.
I mean, unless it's like TikTok where it's like flipped.
Her hand, yeah, yeah. Her hands don't look bruised. His eyes fine, but you can't see his mouth. Maybe
You can't see his
you can't
lip.
see his neck if it was scratched or anything. Yeah, but hey, there's you go. That's your 4chan. Those are your sources for your 4chan. So watch my channel get struck for nudity. Oh,
I
God.
know. Oh my goodness. And her phone looks like one of those like cases where you get it like refurbished and it has you know what I'm talking about? Like how it has barcodes on the back because it's a refurbished phone because you like went through your insurance company because you broke yours or something.
I don't know. But I'm gonna round this one out. Yep. So you guys can watch the replay back, see what you think. Write in the comments section after you see the video if anything stuck out to you. Whatever it is that you want to make yourself known. Thumbs it up, thumbs it down. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
I think I'm going to try to get, just a regular video out. So yeah, but
Tina Terry, I'm telling y'all, it's not coke, it's meth.
God.
Not even a little bit.
Hot ham. I love all these new subs. Me too. Aren't they great? They really bring to the conversation. They fit right in.
Amazing. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas. AC. I could put those trees up there.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully, people try to find something, positive, hang out with your families, your friends, keep your loved ones. Make memories. That's what the Christmas season's all about. I think that, when you follow true crime, it can get depressing at times and it's sad. And, but I think that it should remind us that what we do have and the things that we should be grateful for and celebrating with and having a cheery old time. And there's also people that don't have people to celebrate with or, make memories with. And I think some channels are doing like a silent, they're like going live but being silent, but having the chat on so that you can like chat with people or something like that. So I saw some people doing that. But everybody be safe. And just in case I'm not live before the 25th, I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And have safe travels if you're traveling.
All the mods, thank you guys so much. They went from having like, little crowds to only have to worry about to like, oh my God, hey, I need you to stop momming for a second. Lana, buy yourself a non-coffee. I will. I'll buy myself a shot.
Gypsy girl, that's so sweet of you.
Thank you, Gypsy girl. Mic drop in. Have a blessed Merry Christmas. Maple Beef, Bumblebee, VA Mod Squad, Octavia. She was traveling. Hopefully everybody that is traveling be safe.
Boston.
Yeah, like I said, all the new subscribers, all the new members, thank you guys so much.
Merry Christmas. Lana, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Belle. Merry Christmas. The support's been amazing. It's been actually more than amazing. It's been a breath of fresh air. So thank you guys for all the kind words that you've put in comment sections, even on other people's channels, promoting the work that we've done in this case. Thank you guys so much. But I see the kindness, and it's awesome. So thank you very much. Oh yeah, what's your guys' favorite Christmas song? If you had to pick one Christmas song, The Little Drummer Boy. I'm gonna go with Bruce Springsteen. Santa's Coming to Town.
Oh.
Yeah.
And not to argue this holiday, please tell everybody that and my family. I'd like them to understand that.
Yeah, Santa Baby's a good one. Feliz Navidad. Yeah. All right, you guys are awesome. Take
Love
care.
You guys.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Two surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning. On the morning of
Welcome to Truth and Transparency, Moscow, Idaho.
times,
4 college students
no sign of sexual assault.
brutally murdered, stabbed to death
Investigators
in their
have
off-campus
determined 2
six-bedroom
areas of
house.
interest within the city and have provided maps which are on our
It is
Facebook
December
page
22nd,
and
2022.
on our website. And these are areas
Where do we stand
that
today?
They have
What do we
canvassed
know?
for
What don't we
additional
know?
surveillance video
What should we know?
and tips, and have contacted several residents.
Is
in the
this
area.
case hot?
The areas are generally
or is it
south
going
of
cold?
Taylor Avenue to Palouse River Drive
Tonight I want to hear from you
and
guys.
west of Highway 95.
What questions would you ask?
Detectives have also
if you were able to
canvassed several
interrogate
other
people?
neighborhoods looking for evidence, looking for
Again, welcome
additional
to the
surveillance
transparency.
video, and contacting residents and speaking to them to see if they may have heard or seen something. I want to address several areas of speculation, conjecture, and misinformation that has circulated on social media platforms and otherwise. We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime: the 2 surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released, so any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject. Any online reports stating that the victims had been tied and gagged are not